Stop. Okay, we're about to get hit. Don't. Stop. What are you doing? Turn.
Jesus Christ.
And what is the lesson on that one? You gotta learn somehow, learn in a safe spot. What's up, everybody? Mark Breyer, the Husband Wife Law Team, which, as you already know, I am an actual trial lawyer. I mean, I don't just talk about law. I didn't just go to law school. I actually get in the courtroom and fight for people. And so you guys have been asking for more and more for me to look at some stuff. We're gonna do that together today. But before we get into it, remember, we are breaking records around here. Like double the number of people keep subscribing. We're growing and growing. We're gonna hit 100,000 subscribers soon, and you're gonna be one of them. Thank you for taking the time right now to hit subscribe. Don't forget, comment, like, let me know what you think along this entire process. I want to hear your thoughts so I can do a better job of serving you with my background. All right, let's see what we're gonna get into today. Are you stupid, man? It's a fair question. I wouldn't say he was stupid. I'd say he did a stupid thing. He may or may not be stupid. Now, here's what's so interesting. We literally watched the bicycle, right, come up and get hit by the guy on the moped who has no business being there anyway, and definitely not hitting the guy on the bike. But it's all about how it's framed, right? Because we see the bicyclist come up and the moped come out of nowhere. If you followed it the other way, you would see the moped come up and you would see the bicyclist come out of nowhere, which is a big part of what trial lawyers do. We wanna make sure we put it in a frame so that you can see what the other side did wrong, which is why you have two competing stories in so many trials, and you have to decide what's the real story or what combination of the stories you're hearing are real. Now here I am as a trial lawyer, and what I do is I help people who are hurt. Now you just saw that, right? Who's at fault? Seriously, take your time. Who's at fault? You probably said the bicyclist. Is someone else at fault? Let's go back and look together and see if anyone else played a role. Clearly, the bicyclist took his eyes off the road and that led to the collision. Is there anyone else that might be responsible here? We're on a road. I don't see anything that suggests parking would be expected on this road. Someone who may or may not be this person in the orange, who may or may not be unloading that car, who may or may not be fully parked in a lane that's supposed to have cars traveling. So I'm not sitting here telling you that that car had no business being there and that the bicyclist would have not expected it. But I will tell you, it is possible from what we're seeing that that car had no business being fully stopped there. It could even be related to this person and all this stuff that's being unloaded. And that may be why the bicyclist thought he could look to the left for a minute. In fact, that car may have stopped right before creating that hazard. Am I letting the bicyclist off the hook? No, we all know you have to look where you're going. But we also expect people to follow the law and not do things that create dangers for us unexpectedly. So just give that some thought. Let's see what we got next time around. By the way, Mark, whose fault would that be in court? That'd be up to the jury. So the jury could look at this and go, listen, man, if you don't look where you're going, that's 100% on you. Or they might go, you know what? If you choose to park in a lane that's not supposed to have people parked and someone runs into you, that's partially on you too. Totally up to the jury. There's not a law in most places that says, here's the answer. In the United States anyway, generally in most states, it would be a question of fact because you could have some responsibility on this vehicle that's stopped in the roadway for no reason. Let's have a conversation. Product manufacturers are expected to make products safe for their normal use. When you come crashing down like that, there's probably far more weight and stress on that front fork and that whole area of the bike than if you didn't. I actually took a case to trial once on a bicycle product defect case. So they're actually really complicated. Fortunately, he got up okay. When something like that happens, I do understand everyone's gonna go, well, you shouldn't be taking these flips and turns and everything else. That's fine, that's a risk you take. But you also have a right to expect the person who makes your bicycle is going to make it fit for its ordinary use. And so you'd have to really get into the question of how is that thing marketed? Because some bicycles are in fact marketed and specifically made for doing tricks like that, in which case it absolutely should not have failed. Very lucky he ended up okay. Okay. Everything looks okay. Everything looks okay. Not okay. Not okay. Oh, no. I want to tell you a story as I show that to you again. Watch right here. She's losing control. She doesn't know what to do. I've handled many, many cases of people who ride motorcycles. I handled so many cases and took so many depositions of experts who were talking about how the motorcycle handled and why it was or was not the rider's fault versus a car that hit them, that I finally decided to go and get my motorcycle endorsement so that I could put myself on a bike, learn more about a bike, not just from a theoretical standpoint, but actually get out there and do it a little bit. I learned quite a few things from that, by the way. One is, I don't care if you've been on a jet ski, I've been on jet skis. I don't care if you've been on a moped, I've been on mopeds. If you get yourself on a motorcycle, you will immediately stop saying, why do people ride? Why do they put themselves out like that? Because it is more fun than you would ever have thought if you had never ridden. The reason why so many of my clients over the years will be there badly hurt from a motorcycle collision caused by someone else trying to go, man, I can't wait to get out and ride. I can't wait to get on a ride. That's how much fun it is. It was eye-opening. And by the way, people who ride have a right to expect that you are not going to run into them just because they're on a motorcycle because you didn't stop and say before you turned left, which is the most common horrible collision, not just looking for a car, but looking for motorcyclists that might be coming through because they have the right to do that. The reason I point out that whole story is obviously not a skilled professional rider of motorcycle or motorcycle similar vehicles. She didn't know how to handle it. I hate how it ended. I know we're showing this. I don't think it becomes part of fail army stuff unless the person's okay. So hopefully that's what it means. I hated watching it, but it just shows you how important it is on anything to make sure you understand how it operates before you put yourself near a non-movable telephone pole. And let me say this to Fail Army. I get to come up here and do these things and talk about some of the legal aspects of this because of what I do. I can't do that if Fail Army doesn't put in a lot of time and effort to put this stuff together. So huge shout out to you, Fail Army. I love what you put together. I hope the fact that this is included means she's okay and it didn't hurt as bad as it looks like it hurts right now. There. All right. No! Let me ask you this. Stop. Okay, we're about to get hit. This is actually very interesting. What do you guys see here in terms of who's responsible? Take some time. Look at this. What clues do we have on the responsibility? Well, here's what we know. We know that these vehicles were turning left and the white car wasn't. You see this red light right here that's facing us? That's facing where the bicyclist was coming from. And you see this entryway right here, and you see these dotted lines that make it look like this white car is coming through probably on a green light. Now, we can't see the color of the light, but we see that the light facing the motorcyclist is red, and we see that the white car is coming through dotted lines into what is looks like an entranceway or a small street, probably an entranceway. And it is likely, because these cars are turning left, that there is also a green light for the white car. When you first see this video, the first thing you go is, man, this white car just ran into the bicycle. And it did. And we don't have every clue we need, but it seems very possible that actually the bicyclist ran into and violated the red light because the bicyclist has to follow the same rules of the road as you or I. So on this one, I hate how this video starts already, and we haven't even started it because I do not like to see a tractor trailer, the bicycle nearby. Now let me tell you something. I've handled many cases involving tractor trailers and many cases involving bicycles. I don't care if you're in your car. The size, weight, speed of a tractor trailer, especially fully loaded, but any tractor trailer, is enough that to whatever degree you can give these drivers space, give them space. Never assume on a bicycle that the driver saw you. I don't even care if they look you in the eye. You take every precaution necessary, because I've had cases where the people, many, were like, the driver looked me right in the eye. You thought they were looking you in the eye and they weren't, but they looked me right in the eye and then they went. Probably not. You get a wave, you get acknowledgement, and you still give yourself as much space as possible and out if you can get it. I hope this truck does not pull forward now.
Jesus Christ.
So what do you guys see? Let's do it together, okay? Let's do what I do for a living. What do you guys see right now? Tell me everything you see. Now let me tell you what I see. Number one, the bicycle is on the sidewalk. Usually it shouldn't be on the sidewalk, it should be in the street. Number two, the bicycle is going against traffic. In many jurisdictions, in many cities, you're not allowed to go against traffic. Some you are. However, even if you're going the wrong way and against traffic, that doesn't mean all the responsibility is yours. Maybe none of the responsibility is yours. That depends on some other factors. Now, you got a truck. Is that truck allowed to pull out before it's clear? No. The truck has to make sure and look at the sidewalk. If someone was walking down that sidewalk, just like if they were riding down that sidewalk, someone's allowed to come from your right and walk down the sidewalk, and therefore would be in the same position as that bicyclist is. So you don't have a right to pull forward without making sure that everything is clear. Last thing I want to show you, right here, you see that we have the left arm of the bicyclist going up like, hey, watch out. Too late. Why? What is the last place you look before you turn right? You think you look right, but you don't. Most often, if you stand at an intersection and watch, people will look right, but then they stare left until they have clarity, and they often forget to look back to the right to see if anything's come into their view. That's probably what happened here. Truck got there, looked right, and then looked left and was waiting for an opening. An opening came and forgot to look back right. Who's responsible? That's up to you. I'd love to hear your comments, but everyone involved here, or both people involved here, look like they contributed to what happened.
From what I see too, the green truck also drives away without stopping. Let's just say the truck driver didn't happen to see it or even hear anything. Are they still responsible for a hit and run at that point?
So generally there has to be culpability for a hit and run. In plain English, if you don't know you did something, usually, with some exceptions, there's not responsibility. Now, when I say did something, you don't have to know the effect of what you did. So if you shoot into a store and run away and you don't know someone got shot, you still knew you shot the gun. Generally, to be held responsible for leaving the scene of an injury, there has to be a reasonable belief that you actually knew that you actually did that. In fact, you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in most situations like that, that the person knew that they did it. However, I would say this, I don't know how you don't know. I mean, I absolutely know the back of the trailer can hit something and people don't know it at times, which is also convenient to claim after the fact. But you ran over, right here. I want you guys to know that every time a new video pops up, I hate it for fear of what's gonna happen. That cyclist is lucky. Probably doesn't feel lucky at that moment, but very lucky that they did not get run over by the truck.
I will say this next clip is probably the most pucker factor video I've ever seen. This dude, nothing happens to him, but I think he's probably used up all of his luck for the rest of his life.
Well, there you go. The ultimate moment to prepare. We're about to see something very scary together. Oh. That's okay, I'm not dead. Okay. What do we know from that video? We know he's not dead. What else did we learn? I have no idea.
I guess we learned not to do it again.
He loses control and I can't see why. So he's already losing control here. The speed is blocked out. Now, why is the speed blocked out? The speed is blocked out because he wanted to show his friends and post this, but he didn't want to be convicted maybe. So we can't see the speedometer. We don't know if he got clipped in the back, but he's in a full-size lane. He's got to be careful because the barrier on his left is a cement barrier. And that's keeping them because there's traffic on the other side. So the reason you have a cement barrier, no one wants to hit cement. We don't want cars hitting cement. Cement barriers are where we have no choice because the lanes of traffic are basically barely separated and we don't want head-on collisions because those kill people. So sideway collisions into barriers are better than head-on collisions with cars approaching each other, which I know from the cases we've handled where the roadway was designed dangerously in our opinion.
I also want to point out the truck has a wind skirt on the side. So I don't know how he got so lucky to miss the tires, the wind skirt, go all the way underneath the semi, and then end up in a off-ramp lane to where he's not in the middle of the road where cars are still driving at full speed.
I'll go beyond that. I don't know if that's a wind skirt. That might be underride protection. You guys look right over here. You guys see this right here? Why do trucks have that? That's because it's federally mandated. It's required to have that. Why? Why do we have to have these? Is it just to step up into the back of the truck? No, that's not why. It's required and they have to be able to handle a certain weight because when a car rear ends a truck, there's nothing underneath it. So when you rear end another car, your car stops. If you take this off and picture a car going under it because of traffic, they get decapitated or their head gets crushed underneath an immovable force in effect, and their vehicle's still moving forward. That stops the underride. However, the federal government should wake up and require the trucking industry to put underride protection on the sides of vehicles too, because people are decapitated and brain injured and lives are lost on a fix that is literally a few $1,000s per truck. I understand what you'll hear on the other side of this is, oh, that's billions of dollars. It's a few $1,000s per truck so that many people every year can glance off that and live their life instead of being brain dead or killed or kids being killed in their car seats because we didn't want to mandate underride protection on the sides of trucks. The government should wake up and require it for the safety of everybody. As someone who handles trucking litigation, including cases involved in things like that, there are things that we can over legislate, and then there are simple fixes that we can do, that our government can do to keep people alive. That is a simple fix that we might be seeing over here on the side. Or it may not be that. It could just be something for more gas mileage and some sort of wind braking. I don't know. I can't tell from here, but I agree. At this moment, you know you do not want to hit anything in that truck. And we're already losing, I don't know why we're losing control. definitely losing control here. Now, he takes the bike this way. Probably when you have two choices and one is an immovable concrete barrier and the other is trying to get off the road, to the degree he even made that choice, we now know it was the right choice. Probably the right choice anyway, although it's arguable because you're coming right at that truck and that's not good and you could end up dead. Slide, slide, slide. And just stands up and runs.
It's okay, I'm not dead.
Very happy he's not dead. I don't even know if he was badly hurt. I mean, you can't tell from this. I could tell you my dirt biking story, but I'm not gonna tell you it, but it's a good story.
Thanks, I guess.
Oh. Uh-oh. Isn't it amazing how when you play scared, bad things happen? I had played 3 years of tackle football as a little kid, but then when I went out in high school, my mom said she didn't want me to do it. I got my dad on my side. I was allowed to do it. She said, all right, just try not to get hurt. And my dad said, whatever you do, do not try not to get hurt. That's how you get hurt. So if you look at this video, you can see from the very beginning, hold on, he's already so much cautious. Of course, he had to be cautious, but that caution probably contributed to where he ended up.
What is that law that's like trying so hard to avoid something you unintentionally go to that thing you're trying to avoid?
I do not know what that's called, but I can tell you what I heard years ago that I tell my kids all the time, and you guys and everyone else, which you create what you fear. And it's the same idea. This rider was so afraid of that side. You create what you fear. The more you're afraid of people not liking you, the more they don't like you. The more you're afraid of being in a car crash, the more you make choices that lead to car crash. It's just an amazing thing. The more you're worried about getting someone mad, the more you piss them off. I don't know why that works that way, but it's amazing how often it works that way. All right, what do we got? What do we got? Oh, you know that's coming down. I had an incident like that when my grandpa Lou was driving years ago, but we were in a car, so it didn't end up that badly. But anyway, okay, let me ask you guys something. You're on a bicycle, right? You see these two cars leaving. How do the arms know when to raise up? Are they magic? No. It's because they sense the vehicles coming through in any number of ways, right? But they could have magnets underneath the pavement. That's how lights know when to turn. That's why sometimes motorcyclists can sit there all day and the light won't change for them because the sensor does not sense the motorcycle if it's not a good sensor, and depending on a bunch of things at play. But this came up because a vehicle went through. So now we're going through. Now stop. You don't know how long it's gonna be till that comes down. And right now we're sitting here, hindsight's 2020. We know it's about to come down and hit him. So what could we learn from this? We could learn to be aware that if we're in a similar situation, keep our eyes open. We could know that we may need to slow down and be ready because ultimately, by the way, if he had just kept going, he might well have just knocked that arm off the thing anyway, but that's neither here nor there. So this would be a situation where it is gonna be hard to place blame anywhere, but on the person who's on the bicycle, even though I'm not really blaming the bicyclist because you're not really thinking it through, but what do you guys see? Do you guys see anything anywhere else? Because I don't really feel like, what else could you do? This is for cars to get out of, which also raises this question. Should a bicyclist even be at this location that appears to be designed only for vehicles?
There's a sidewalk 4 inches to the left of him too.
There is, although, you know, then you get in trouble because they don't want bicyclists on sidewalks, so you're put in a tough spot. Well, we were coming from here, so we don't have enough information to know with certainty, but we can say with the way that arm goes pretty much all the way to the curb, that they did not anticipate that bicycles were gonna come through this area. What'd you guys see? Who's responsible? Okay, let's break this down together, shall we? Okay, stop. We are on the right side of what appears to be a lane right over here. Okay, so here's traffic lane number 1, the inside lane. Now we know this is a one-way street. We see the cars the other way. We see the median between them. This is lane number 1. This is lane number 2. This is really either a separation, kind of a Gore point, and here's the turnoff. It's daytime. Wearing a pastel color, it's not the perfect color, but it's good enough. Got a reflector going on the back. So at this point, what is he doing wrong? He has a right to be on the road unless it's a road that says no bicycles. Either way, let's get to here. Now, what the heck is the truck doing?
What the truck doing?
First of all, it's coming through a Gore point, not legal. Number 2, it sees there's a bicyclist here. So even if you weren't in the wrong because you were cutting through a Gore point, you're in the wrong to just run over someone on a bicycle who, by the way, is putting his hand up, which is a very little value because in the end, he probably wants his hands on the bicycle. And then he gets hurt, or hopefully not hurt, then he gets hit. So I understand you guys are like, oh, of course you're gonna defend the bicyclist against the truck. Well, how could this not be the truck's fault? The truck is literally going where he shouldn't go, passing a cyclist right in front of him and hitting him. What the heck? All right, so now we're looking back. So number one, this was definitely not a bike lane. It was a Gore point. And this truck just started going the wrong way and decided to come here. And number two, apparently took out the trifecta of cyclists together. So he didn't just miss one cyclist, he managed to hit three. This was like a kamikaze trucker. This is insane. Broad daylight, 3 people in cycling kits, and you managed to hit all 3 of them while cutting through a Gore point because you were in a hurry and didn't want to turn around. Look, he's still standing up. See this? I think the guy who's filming never got hit. So what is the lesson from that, kids? Be the one who's filming. You don't want to be on fail army, being the one who failed. You want to be on fail army because you filmed someone else failing. Always keep a GoPro on, stay safe.
Cameraman never dies.
Cameraman never dies. That's exactly right.
How many accidents occur at a spot like that, or even like at an exit?
So percentage-wise, Gore point collisions on highways are not a huge percentage. However, severity-wise, they're awful. First of all, they sometimes include, or have in the past times included, police officers who were pulled over in the Gore point, someone pulled over for an emergency and they couldn't even get safely to the side of the road, they picked the Gore point. So there's a lot of horrible collisions. You also have people veering at the last second because in their mind, like, oh no, I gotta get over, instead of, oh, I missed it, it's all right, I'll get back, I won't lose more than 10 minutes, I'll be fine. The Gore point collisions are terrible. And if I was gonna give one piece of safety advice to everyone out there, do not enter the Gore point early. When you're going onto a freeway, it's tempting to go, let me get over real quick. The danger from that Gore point where that's still coming together, higher than if you wait the extra 4 car lengths. Same thing on the exit. There's enough danger in that you want to respect the Gore point, which is this area right here, and drive safer near it, not use that as, oh good, I have extra space. Because 99 times out of 100, you do have extra space. And the 1 time out of 100, it's a major horrible outcome. Okay, here we go. Here we go. In the bike lane, stop. What do we got? We're in the bike lane. That's good, right? Before we see what happens here, I just want to point this out. The bike lane is maybe, let's go with 3 or 4 feet across. But if any of these vehicles open their doors, you don't have a lot of room. So a cyclist choosing to stay right here on the edge, which you may go, well, you're moving into the lane of traffic. Yes, but moving out of harm's way for anyone who might open up one of these doors. Just bear that in mind as we go here. Oh. And now I defended you for nothing. That was dumb. Oh. You just lost to somebody because of that. Look, I did. Oh, I didn't do it. Oh no, the bat was with this guy. The bat was, oh, you lost. What? So let's go back. 1, I have no idea why he's speeding up. Don't worry about that. Keep watching. 2. Okay, so now he does a little wheelie, apparently for the person in the front yard. Comes down and does what? All front brake. Did not equally apply the brakes, and that's where we go. That was bad. That's why you take a motorcycle training course, so that you learn how to ride and you do not fall on your face and become part of the Fail Army video. Anybody, what's gonna happen? So we have these beautiful leaves on the ground. We're just having some fun going in and out. What's gonna happen? Now, I don't know, but I do know this. Those leaves may have less friction and therefore may be more slippery and someone may go down. I'm just having fun with you guys. I don't know yet. I'm wrong on these things all the time. Oh! You know what? I don't know what the back tire slipped on. What do you guys think the back tire slipped on? I don't know if it was the leaves. So when it landed, there was more friction up front and less in the back, which caused the back to go out. So I don't know if I was right or not, because honestly, it looks like a beautiful day for a ride. Cameraman, safe yet again, okay? Don't. Stop. What are you doing? You are in a car, a motorcycle, you're a pedestrian, and you see a car laying on its side, and nearby there is a tow truck, and nearby there is a police car blocking the road for the tow truck, for the car on its side. What visual cues might that give you? Now, let's go back a second further. Watch the vehicle. Look, the vehicle's moving. How is the vehicle moving? It's not driving. Its wheels aren't even really on the ground. What could be moving it? Now we know, because Fail Army put together an amazing montage, and we know something bad's gonna happen. This is one of those things, I know hindsight's 2020, but you guys see this, right? Where I'm pointing. In the meantime, don't put yourself in harm's way. The only thing I can guess is, I have no guess, but there was probably a really good song playing in this cyclist's ears right there. And that's why we weren't keeping close attention, because this is about to happen. Please don't let it, oh. Get out of the way, get out the way. Get up, get. Ooh, this is good. No. All right, by the way, this goes back, we were talking about you create what you fear, because the slower you go on a bicycle, the more likely you are to fall. Last one, here we go. Turn.
Jesus Christ!
And what is the lesson on that one? You gotta learn somehow, learn in a safe spot. Everyone turned out okay. All right, listen up, everybody. I would love to know what you guys thought. Did you guys like the way I was breaking things down? What else do you want me to talk about? I do this for a living. I fight for people. It's my job to see both sides of it. So if you guys look right over, where is it? Here, look at it. Another Fail Army video that you wanna watch. Go ahead, check it out. Let us know what you think. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next time from a real life trial lawyer from the husband and wife law team.